Welcome to another night of Paranormal Soup. I'm your host, Jason Bland, and I am totally rusty at doing this. 3 weeks gone. Wow. It's been a long time. That's what it feels like. You do this show every week. I can imagine guys that do shows every night, at least 5 days a week. Just doing it once a week, I love doing it and not, being gone for 3 weeks. It's been so weird. I couldn't even get the beginning right. Welcome to Midwest Paranormal Presents Paranormal Soup, what I've done for 2 years, or almost 3. Couldn't even get that right, being gone for 3 weeks. Just throw me for a loop. Plus, I've been sick. But I am happy to be back tonight doing the show. We are streaming out live to Facebook, and we are streaming out to Late Night in the Midlands Radio Network. You can check us out on TuneIn. We're also on TalkStream. TalkStream has a paranormal app. You can listen to us there. You'll hear the music tonight. Some music will be on just the radio network. And tonight's guest is Alex Bob. He is a paranormal investigator from Birmingham, Alabama. He's into cryptoids and UFOs and ghosts. He's a Paranormal Soup kind of guy himself. So it should be a very interesting night. And of course, what we do every Sunday night is World Wide Web of Weird. So we'll have that coming up here in just a second. And we will have the phone lines open. It'll be the Skype and phone lines all should be open because we got Alex on Hangouts with us tonight. All right, guys, we'll be with you in just one sec. Welcome to another night of Paranormal Soup. I'm your host, Jason Bland. At least I got that right. Man, I botched that beginning so bad. That's how out of practice I am. And I sound like crap from being sick. So, all right, thank you for joining us tonight. Of course, I have my lovely co-host with us, should be here. How you doing tonight, Jamie?
I'm doing well, and I'm really excited to be here.
Excited to have you. I missed you. 3 weeks. Jamie, I should show, sent me, I got during the holidays. I got a number of things from fans of the show during the holidays. Jamie, of course, here sent me of course, now I got them all tangled up, darn it. But it's a cross she made here with an evil eye. And then like a keychain here. I'm going to put it all together on the portal that I have with a little alien here she made me. And then Zach, the regular call in the show, he sent me some cactus candy. Man, we got to talk, buddy. That's some sweet stuff. And Christy Goyen, she sent me cookies, so that was awesome. Thank you, Christy. It was a great holiday. Like I said, I missed you. It's been 3 weeks. And we got Rob Autry all the way from St. Augustine, Florida. How you doing tonight, Rob?
Pretty good. How you guys doing?
Pretty good. Missed you, buddy. Glad to have you back. And I wish I was where you're at in St. Augustine, Florida, not here where it's freaking freezing.
Well, it's still pretty cold here too.
Oh, don't even.
Don't even. Cold.
It's pretty cold. No, don't even. Nowhere near cold. Oh, it's 30. That's pretty cold for Florida. That is pretty cold for Florida. Pretty cold. You guys are probably losing your minds.
Oh, yeah.
We got Jeffrey Chan's video engineer, of course, will be handling the World Wide Web of Weird. Jeffrey here, we have to show you because he's the silent monk in the background who brings out the weird videos tonight. We'll see. And our guest is Alex Bob. How you doing tonight, Alex?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm doing great.
Glad to finally get you on the show. I've been looking for it. Like I said, you're kind of a Paranormal Soup guy yourself. You're into all the weirdness. Yeah. So you'll be perfect.
That's a good way to describe it.
Yeah, it's a soup of it, all things paranormal. And speaking of, let's do what we do every Sunday night is the World Wide Web of Weird. At least I didn't mess saying that up. Tonight on the World Wide Web of Weird, we're going to start out with a pretty woman herself, Julia Roberts, haunted by a ghost on a set of a new movie. I always love these stories of actors and actresses being haunted on a set, like Eddie Murphy's Haunted Trailer kind of stories. If you ever heard that one, that's pretty cool. Paranormal happens to anybody, even the actors. So let's go ahead and get to this. This is from BeyondRealityNews.com. Share screen up, bring up Jeff here, our video engineer, so you can see what we're showing tonight. All right, so first up here is from BeyondRealityNews.com. Julia Roberts haunted by ghost on set of new movie. Julia Roberts has reportedly been haunted by a ghost on the set of her latest movie. The Oscar-winning actress is shooting a movie, Ben is Back, and filmed on scene in New York cemetery. However, it has been claimed that while Julia was in a character as Holly Burns, the mother of the titular Ben, she was pushed by a supernatural entity. As Julia regrouped for another take near the tombstone, she suddenly felt someone or something shove her, a source close to the set revealed. Julia Roberts was shoved on the set on her new film by a ghost. Speaking to American Star magazine, she added, "She quickly turned, but there wasn't a soul around. Julia hopes it was just a crew prankster having a laugh." Speaking to American Star magazine, she added, "She quickly turned, but there wasn't a soul around. Julia hopes it was just." I hate it when articles repeat what they say. It's like, why you just don't have enough to write? Is that it? You're just repeating it. In this picture, you wonder, is this her acting in the movie, or is this her going off on some coffee boy? Like, give me a coffee. I'm being shoved by a ghost. All right, moving on. Number 2 in the World Wide Web of Weird. And excuse me, like I said, I'm getting over being sick, so yeah, I sound like crap. I'm going to try to keep the disgusting sounds to a minimum tonight. This is something we've talked about quite a bit on the show before in the past in the World Wide Web of Weird, is the alien megastructure. They say it's now finally been debunked. This is from Unexplained Mysteries. Originally picked up between the constellation Cygnus and Lyra by the Kepler Space Telescope in 2009, the star known as KIC 846-2852 has long proven to be something of an enigma. Unlike most other planets hosting stars, which exhibit signs of periodic dips when their planets pass in front of them, this one has been exhibiting extremely erratic dips indicative of a large, tightly packed assortment of matter in orbit around it. The phenomenon gained particular fame when astronomer Jason Wright suggested that one possible explanation for it was the presence of a gigantic extraterrestrial structure in space. Back in October, however, it began to emerge that the most likely explanation for the star's peculiar dimming behavior was actually a large cloud of dust particles orbiting around it. And this is, I think I said this back in the World Wide Web. I'm not trying to say like I knew it all or anything, but I swear to God, I said it had been, there's debris in space, there's rocks and asteroids and dust, and there's things that can block light, that could be floating by. Now, following further study, it appears as though this is almost certainly the case. Dust is most likely the reason why the starlight appears to dim and brighten, said the astronomer. The new data shows that different colors of light are being blocked at different intensities. Therefore, whatever is passing between us and the star is not opaque, and as would be expected from a planet or alien megastructure. With the long-running mystery finally solved, she added, if it wasn't for people with this unbiased look on our universe, this unusual star would have been overlooked. I'm so appreciative of all the people who have contributed to this in the past year. Thank you for telling everybody this is an alien mega structure and getting all this attention and funding. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on to, we're on number 3 here. This is going to be a video here. This was on a news broadcast. This is the article from Daily Star. In this clip, you see a panel of presenters discussing the top stories of the day on the news outlet. Where's the news outlet, though? It doesn't tell me. As they converse on to unknown to them, something incredible is happening in the background. It's not much of an article here on it. At first glance, what appears to be 2 UFOs fly into the shot across the sky before changing direction completely and veering off into the distance. The hosts then continue their broadcast oblivious to what's going on behind them. The clip, here we go. The clip appeared on KOIN 6, an American television station that was uploaded to YouTube channel on the Hidden Underbelly 2.0 soon afterwards. It's racked up to 90,000 views since then. One read, this was a good one. They're showing up on the news cameras now as well. There's been a couple we've had on the World Wide Web Weird where they've had stuff in those cameras. You think they just use like a video, like some static video, but they actually use these live feeds behind these newsmen, and you never know what they're going to get. They use these live news feeds sometimes for like when they're doing like a a basketball game. They had one in Chicago for a basketball game. The news, they're getting ready for the game, and they show a live shot of Chicago, and there was a light, and that happened then. See, I'm already losing my voice. Not good. All right, let's move on before I lose my voice completely. This is Hidden UFO Tech, Florida. This was found on Google Earth. This is on express.co.uk. Looks like a spaceship, doesn't it? Busted. Has a USAF been caught hiding alien tech UFO in Florida on Google Earth? These could be top secret U.S. Air Force spycraft developed using alien technology, according to staggering claims. The so-called alien truth seekers are convinced they have rumbled a secret prototype, or how they mean by that, craft in Google Earth images above Florida Aerospace Company. A video uploaded to YouTube suggests there has never been any craft like it publicly declared. Footage zooms into the remote site surrounded by swampland in West Palm Beach, Florida, when two aerospace possible craft can be seen on the floor in separate areas. Tyler Glockner, of course, Secure Team 10, said, "It looks like no sort of public aircraft has ever been disclosed. It looks like a hypersonic craft or spacecraft of some kind. Is this some sort of UFO? Is it outside the building belonging to aerospace company Pat Whitney, which develops engines for civilians and military projects, so could be involved in secretive stuff." So pretty much, the rest of the article goes on about the possibilities of this. It looks pretty cool. I don't know. I mean, if that thing flies, it's got to be pretty cool. Looks like something. It looks like something out of Battlestar Galactica or something, man. I'm totally up for it. Or go ahead.
I just feel like I've seen something similar to that flying through the sky one day, and it was going like super fast, and we were just coming out of Applebee's, and we were like, "What the hell is that thing?" And then all of a sudden, this lady comes up, and she's like, "Did we just witness a UFO?" And I was like, maybe so.
Maybe it was. Maybe it was this thing flying around. It kind of reminds me like I don't know, some kind of like starfighter. I mean, it totally has that look.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be big. Somebody said it could be a speedboat, but it doesn't look like, I don't think it's a speedboat. I mean, this is an aerospace, not a boat company,
Yep.
All right, speaking of DoD projects here, we got, what scares me is the drone technology. We talked about the murder bots or whatever they call them. Well, now, imagine the murder bots look like bats. DoD wants to develop autonomous bat drones. I mean, Batman would love this. Unexplained mysteries, this comes from. Part of Defense Enterprise Science Innovation, the contest will offer winning team basic science grants to aid in develop of new patterns for autonomous flight with a focus on highly maneuverable platforms and algorithms for flight control and decision making. The emphasis appears to be on the creation of autonomous platforms based around living creatures such as bats and insects, which are far more maneuverable than they are of today's drones. The biological study of agile organisms such as the bats and flying insects has yielded new insights into complex flight kinematics of systems with large numbers of degrees of freedom and the use of multifunctional flight surface material. A bunch of stuff I don't understand. Concepts for the robot based on the movements of animals have been around for years, but it's only recently that our technology capabilities have begun to catch up with the complexities of nature. Imagine now the military or people having drones that look like a freaking bat. What was I talking about before? I should have had the Hunter S. Thompson vocal clip there, Bats, man. Gigantic
Yeah, it's pretty
bats.
crazy.
I mean, the whole robot thing is going to get scary, in my opinion. That's it.
Yeah, it's already getting kind of crazy with the. I saw something on Facebook, the dog robots, and then we have the Sophia robot.
Oh, the Sophia's creepy. She's just creepy. Okay? I mean, I think that's more of a publicity stunt than anything. We've talked about that on the show before, but still, it's creepy. Yeah. It's still creepy. And, giving her citizenship, what the heck is that about? All right, let's move on, though. Let's move on. Number 6 on the World Wide Web of weird here. This comes from SMP.com. I got that wrong. SCMP.com, South China Morning Post. Malaysian police haunted by complaints about the occult. We've talked about this, we get a lot of these lately in the World Wide Web of weird here. It seems spells sent through social media among complaints coming from around the country, and the police say elderly make up most of the victims. This is 21st century, yet Malaysian police have to deal with complaints of the supernatural types. Besides fighting crime and dealing with traffic and commercial cases, police are bogged down with reports about Boma, mediums. That's what I guess that's their word for it in Malaysia, and spells. Sources told the Star that a raft of reports were received nationwide last year relating to supposedly paranormal cases, including witchcraft, spells being sent through social media. Like somebody posts on there, "I'm going to put a curse on you," kind of thing, or they really like start like getting technical with it, like cursing them on, giving them like the full spell on there, and like if you open this message, you're cursed. Is that they're getting those messages and thinking they're really cursed? Because I
put a spell on you.
Yeah, they didn't send the chain letter. These people take that stuff seriously in Malaysia. No. All right. There was also reports maybe those who were accused their workmen of casting spells on him. There was a bizarre case where a 51-year-old man, lodged a police report in Nurgi Sembilian, I totally butchered that, on December 19th, alleging that a female relative had used witchcraft to make him, excuse me if you have children in the room, take them out, make him ejaculate all of a sudden. Really? Come on. Seriously? You would call the police and tell them that? You would tell them that. Really, even if you really believed like there was a spell, you would still call them, I mean, you would think the cop would go, "Hey, you got a freebie." Seriously, you would call the cops and tell, "Yeah, you shuck that up to a freebie. Next time she might charge you."
Wait, that was a spell they put on somebody?
Yeah, I know some guys
like as a bad thing?
You're right. I know some guys that might request that. She should get a webcam. All right. Apparently, she had to seek the help of a spiritual healer to rid herself of the spell. Oh, it was a woman. I'm sorry. I missed that. It was a woman. Apparently, she had to seek the help of a spiritual healer. Well, this is what I get for reading these like a week ago. Healer to rid herself of the spell and then braved herself to lodge a police report. Sorry. She was a she. I guess that would be a lot. I don't know. There was also a number of cases. I'd really put my foot in the mouth on that one. There was also a number of cases involving a Siamese medium who demanded a fee for those who wanted to know his predictions on lottery draws. Oh, my God. The mediums who openly advertised his services would collect an upfront fee to conduct prayers and cleansing rituals. Once the initial payments were paid, the medium's henchmen would normally seek a second payment, which could amount into thousands of... Yeah, you just got to be a lot of scamming going on. Probably most of the paranormal complaints is the scams. But you can find this, like it says, South China Morning Post. If I, for people listening on late night in the Midlands, this was just a picture. I think we only have one video tonight. But if you do want to see any of the World Wide Web of Weird again, it is on our Midwest Paranormal Presents Paranormal Soup page, and sometimes I post it up on our Paranormal Soup YouTube channel too. All right, let's move on. We got one more. I thought this one was pretty cool. But it could totally be debunked. This comes from the mirror.co.uk. You see this motorcycle. For people not watching because they're on the radio network, a motorcycle goes by in this video. And this was bizarre footage shows a ghost motorbike traveling along a deserted motorway with no rider. The motorbike was filmed traveling along a motorway in the middle of the night with no visible rider seen aboard. The video footage has emerged appearing to show a riderless ghost motorbike traveling along a motorway in the middle of the night. Again, this one comes from Malaysia. The eerie clip was filmed in Malaysia, uploaded to social media, where it has received 13,000 shares and 1.5 million views. Spooky footage shows the bike traveling along a mostly deserted motorway with ease, despite the fact no visible rider could be seen. So two things. It could either be a guy riding on the side, because it's blurry, it's hard to tell, or some poor soul fell off that bike, like, farther back. And we're just seeing, he might be a ghost now. He might be a ghost. I don't know if he's made it back onto his bike yet. Or it's something weird.
Driverless motorcycles.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or it was a trick. He just jumped off of it and let it keep going.
That would be like an expensive hoax, I would think, because you do some damage to that bike just letting it ride along like that.
Yeah, well...
I think most of the comments I saw in this video, most of the people think it's somebody riding on the side of it. The quality of the video is so poor, you can't really see it. And some of the planes, you can almost see them on the side. You almost do see something on the side there. I've seen people do trick stunts where they hang off the side of the bike. Maybe. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
So is this the only clip from that?
Yeah, and there's no other story. That's what I love about these clips. The most viral paranormal videos end up being like the most garbage because there's no story. Like there's no I was there, I saw the bike. There was no rider. That's what I want.
The guy on the bike's not even looking or anything.
No. Well, you would think, hey, there goes a bike. He might not have had a chance, and he thought Joe was going to come back and ride with him, but Joe fell off his bike. I don't know. I don't know, but if
Or
you
could
did,
they have just straight edited the dude off the bike?
maybe,
I'm sure it's
maybe. I don't think it
possible.
really. Yeah, I don't think they really did that though. I think it was somebody riding on the side, or like I said, somebody fell off the bike and it just kept going because that's happened too. You know, it's possible.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and get to our first commercial break so we can have Alex here tell us about his paranormal experiences. We have a lot to talk about, and we will have the phone lines open after the second commercial break. This is the first. And for people listening on or people watching, sorry, on Facebook, we do a radio show, Late Night in the Midlands Radio Network. There's music. You can't hear it there. So you're going to hear some quiet. Don't freak out. We will be back. You will hear, when you hear the commercials, you know, you can come back, get your drinks, share the post out, let your friends know we're on live tonight. Paranormal Soup is back. All right, guys, be with you in just a few minutes. All right, we are back tonight. We're our guest, Alex Bob. We're going to talk about his experiences in the paranormal. This guy is from Birmingham, Alabama. He's got he's not just a paranormal investigator when it comes to ghost stuff. He's into the cryptoid. I have a Bigfoot video of his night, possible Bigfoot. We'll leave that up to question I want to show tonight. He's had UFO experiences. I mean, he's definitely, like I said before, a paranormal soup guy. He's into all the different things we love to talk about on this show. That's how I am. People know me as a paranormal investigator and a ghost, but I'm into all of it. That's why I started doing this show, and that's what we're about. It's a melting pot. I think it's all connected in some way too. The Bigfoots, the ghosts, the aliens, some way, somehow I've always felt it's connected. All right, we'll philosophize about this tonight. You can discuss amongst yourselves. Let's get to our guest. All right, let me get the screen up here. There we go. I am so out of practice. 3 weeks gone. How you doing tonight, Alex?
I'm doing great, man. It's been a great year so far already.
Oh, good. Well, tell the audience a little bit more about yourself. First off, I think, how did you get involved in the paranormal?
Well, as I've said, some of my people who view my channel and everything will probably know that when I was a kid, I had some experiences with the first one that I clearly remember was when I saw a full-bodied apparition sitting in the rocking chair in my room when I was a kid, and I think I was probably 10 or 11. And I remember waking up and seeing him sitting in the chair, but I felt safe around him, so I got up out of bed, I walked over to him to sit in his lap, and I just fell and hit the seat, and I was like, whoa, what just happened? Like, this is crazy. And every night after that, I would watch that chair and try and see if he would come back. And to me, it was my grandfather, who I never met. He had passed away when my mom was a kid. But a lot of the kids in the family would see him or talk about him. And for some reason, I felt like he had came to visit me that night. And since then, even since before then, I was always just interested in the idea of the paranormal spirits, cryptids. Like, I was always interested in the werewolves and things like that, and other monsters. I would always watch the shows. I can't even, there's been so many different shows that have came out since back.
Well, how old are you, Alex?
I'm 27 now.
All right, so you're 10 years younger than me, but I could name off the shows. There's been so many, and you forget what they are. But I could probably name them off for you. For me, when we would have had similar. I'm 10 years older than you, but we would have had similar childhoods because I had the same interests. And the experience you thought you had with your grandfather. How old were you really? Were you 10 or?
I think I was 10 or 11. It's hard to remember clearly. I don't really remember a lot from my childhood, of course, but I want to say I was 10 or 11, and I've always, since I was a kid, I always had these strange, reoccurring dreams and things like that. I even had a couple of what I would consider UFO encounters when I was a kid. One was in my backyard. I remember looking up through the trees and seeing one of the brightest lights I've ever seen kind of coming down on me, and that's just, all I remember from that moment. But I just remember it
That
was.
that's not good. How old were you with that?
I'm not even sure. I think then I was probably 12 or 13. I think because it
Oh
was.
man, you see, that's not like a little kid. That's a teenage.
Yeah.
You sound like you've been abducted or abducted. You know, I had I no, I'm not serious because I've had guests
No.
on. Chad and Alta Dillard did a book called Orbducted, and it sounds very similar. They had a big little shiny light, and then they don't remember what happened after that. I'm telling you,
That's what it
Alex.
was for me. And it was right in the backyard, and I just remember seeing that bright light, and it was really close. Like, uh, I mean, the trees were only probably 20 or 30 feet tall, and I could see the light just like engulfing the tops of those trees, and it was right down there, right in my backyard. And yeah, like I said, I don't remember anything after that.
I
But
would not be comfortable with that, Alex. If I was you, I would. I had my UFO experience, and I was with 4 other people, and it flew right over our head. No missing time or anything, you know. But if you have a big shiny bright light, and you're like, oh, and that's all you remember. I don't
Another
know,
story
man.
I've told about was when I was a kid. I have this memory, and I'll have to ask. I have to find this guy because we haven't talked since we were kids. But I have this memory of him taking me out into the woods and showing me this like dead Martian baby, or some kind of like dead like fetus thing by this tree. And to me, it feels like it was probably a dream because it sounds so crazy. But I just have this vivid memory of that, and
It could have
I
been
need to.
possible somebody was showing you like I mean, do you have deer? I mean, you have deer in Alabama, right? Were you in Alabama?
Yeah, it could.
Could have
It
been,
definitely could have
deer
been
sometimes
something.
abort their babies in the woods. It's
Yeah.
a natural abortion, and it will be a fetus. There was a couple years ago, a big thing that I think it was probably on the World Wide Web, weird, where people were like, look at this alien thing, and it turned out it was a deer fetus. You know,
That's
so maybe
definitely that could have been what it was because it's just like a vivid memory I have. So I feel like it wasn't a dream, but I'll have to try and find that guy and ask him if he remembers that because it's definitely like a memory I have of when I was a kid. Um, and some other stuff like my aunt was really into doing the Ouija board and stuff, and
I'm not good
she
either.
kinda, so we would mess around with that. The house where my cousin lived, I remember always feeling some type of just strange vibes there. That's where
And this was the
actually
aunt
my
did the Ouija board. Was it this cousin?
she didn't live there,
Okay.
but they were all really close, and she would come over there, and we would do it there.
Well,
And
that's
we
what I
even did
mean.
it. Yeah, we would do it there. It's also the house where my grandfather passed away um, due to some, it was a pretty nasty situation how he died and everything.
Was this the
So
same
that,
grandfather? No, this wasn't the same grandfather though. You saw.
oh
in the
yeah,
chair.
this is the same one I
Oh,
thought I
same one.
saw. Because he died when my mom was very young. I want to say she was gosh, I can't even. My mom passed away too, so it's my whole family passed. I don't know a lot about it, but I'm definitely trying to get back in touch with everyone and try and learn more about everything.
Right, right.
But that's another thing. When my mom passed away, I had some experiences. Like with the day I believe she passed away, she went missing for a few days before we found her. But the day I believe she passed away, my tire exploded, and to me it was almost like a message from her because I texted her after it happened and I never got a response back. And it was weird how it exploded. I just pulled on the interstate and all of a sudden the tire just shredded into bits, and so I felt like that was her trying to let me know something was wrong. And then like a couple months after that, I started getting more into actually going out. I started out, of course, with just like a camera and a tape recorder, going out and just trying to capture the, like the orbs and things that everyone was, all about.
Oh, got a lag connection there for a second there. Hopefully you're good. You seem like you're good now.
Hopefully,
yeah,
I'm good.
a lot of people start out with that's the basics. That's how I start out: camera, recorder, and yeah, I away was not into the orbs. It was As I had video, I went to college for film and video and had experience with TV video cameras and stuff, and I know how the dust can appear in infrared. So,
Definitely.
but go ahead.
Oh, there's definitely I believe most of the orbs everyone shares are definitely dust. I have caught a few pictures that were really interesting to me. There's this one I'll have to send you later. It's like this literal glowing ball that's right in the frame of the picture, and I couldn't figure out what caused that. I've never
Right.
caught anything
Well, I've
like
definitely
that.
I've seen pictures. I'm like, okay, that's not normal. That's not normal.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
because the majority of them are can be explained. Out of all of the ones I've taken, I've been taking these for 40 years of my life.
Yeah.
And I have two favorite ones, and those are the ones you just know. You just know there's
Yeah.
something. The circumstances around it, your other equipment may be going off and saying things as this is happening. Something telling you to straight turn, look, and take a picture, and you do, and you get this crazy stuff. It's
We
like
got Katrina
really
Cooper.
hard to
Katrina Cooper. I know she's in the chat room right now as a medium, and I know she's gone like take a picture right here, and she's pointed, and the orb's like right at her finger.
Exactly.
I mean, there's and if ghosts are electromagnetic, that means static. And what does dust attract to but static? It could be dust, but it could be paranormal because the ghost it's attracted to that. I don't know. But it's something that'll never be like 100% proof.
For sure. Yeah, that's why I like doing the videos and things like that, because like you said, photos aren't going to be 100% proof. But my friend Justin Brown was telling me that it's good to have maybe add an action cam on top of your camera while you're taking pictures, or a full spectrum action cam, videoing while you're taking pictures to kind of have a cross-reference guide.
Compare it. Yeah, no.
And I thought,
he is
Can I
the
ask
tech guy.
you a quick question about when you're setting up and with your orbs? Now, I have my own theory about, like, when you hear the bumps and the sounds, and it'll sound like a noise is coming from one end or another. And when you actually have your static cams around in all these areas, and you'll notice an orb will go by in a really weird spot, but then you'll hear this thump, like it doesn't have to be even where the orb is hitting. It's like these balls of energy, I think, are actually enough to make sound. Like they're the ones creaking the boards and can make these other anomalies happen.
Like EVPs.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely very it's very strange, because when you have the dust and things coming too, it makes it hard to tell what is paranormal and what's just the environment. But I guess when you have those multiple occurrences happening, like with the EVPs and the sounds and things, I mean, that's pretty interesting. It's got to be something happening.
Now, when you were talking, I want to get back to a little bit to what you were telling us about your story. When your mom passed away and all that.
Yeah.
Did you have any other experiences with her? Like, I mean, it sounds like it was kind of a mysterious death, or like.
Yeah, it was.
Questions?
It's actually considered it's considered undetermined by the coroner and everything. Like when they did the autopsy and everything, they couldn't really find they just said it's undetermined, which is, they said it's better than pending, because then they might never get back to it or anything. So they just kind of considered it that. She went missing. We found her. She was actually in the parking lot at her work, which I searched for her for several days, and I never figured out to look there, and I just couldn't figure that out. But a couple of weeks after, we were still staying in her house at the time. Like me and my girlfriend were staying there, and kind of like cleaning everything up and making sure that everything was okay at the house. And I had picked up like a cheap little paranormal investigation kit off Amazon. And it came with this. Sorry, that's my dog.
It's all right.
It came with this motion detector, and one night the motion detector just started going off in the box randomly, which I thought was pretty weird.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't turned on or anything. We just had the box sitting on my desk, and all of a sudden it was going off in the box. Other than that, though, that house already had some weird things going on because down the street, they had built this neighborhood. It was like a newer neighborhood, and the houses were newer and everything. But down the street, there was this old cemetery that was, I mean, it was just like rocks for the headstones, and it was in someone's back. And so people would actually have some weird experiences in that. I'm not sure if it was because they built it around that graveyard, and maybe there was some other things that they built on top of. But there was definitely, like, my little brother, he would never stay at the house, at my mom's house. He would always stay at my dad's house, even though he was supposed to stay at my mom's house, like, you know, by the court and everything had declared that. But he would always stay at my dad's house because he would see things there. And I was just a teenager, so I was just kind of going to high school and doing the teenager thing, like
Right.
hanging out with friends and everything. So through high school, I was definitely into the paranormal, but I wasn't investigating or anything like that too much. I would go to locations with friends and hang out and stuff.
But you definitely
Once,
definitely had enough reasons with kind of the occurrences around you in life to have an interest in the what they call ghost hunting, but looking into the afterlife and trying to get proof. When you have those kind of things around you, I've known investigators that have kind of similar experiences. That had maybe a little bit of paranormal experiences, but it's more just being surrounded by so much death. People around you in those kind of circumstances kind of draws you to it. Now, you do you do a lot of ITC research too, like using spirit boxes and stuff like that, or?
Yeah, the most what I like to use currently is I like to use the old radios and things like that. And then, like, when I go with friends, like my friend Eric from he built this device he calls the Gateway, which is similar to the portal. Is like you put it through some different pedals. He has the one that plays in reverse, and it plays back an echo. So it'll when words come through really strong, it'll echo back, so you can hear it again a couple times. Right. And we were getting some crazy stuff on that at the Hales Bar Dam the other night. We did like a live stream.
Now, what's that place?
That place is it's the powerhouse to a dam that was once on the Tennessee River. They tore it down in the '60s and made a new dam down the river because there was a constant leakage in that dam and they could never fix it. And for some reason the activity there is insane. Like, we were hearing, like, just from walking in, we heard like right when we walked in, we started hearing the disembodied voices. We started hearing sounds, banging sounds, and tapping, and dragging, and all kinds of different sounds all over the place. And it was a wild night. Like, I didn't expect that from this place just because it's a dam. I was like, what?
I'm curious. When you were there, I'm sure you had electromagnetic meters and stuff like that. What was the electromagnetic activity there?
Inside, we had our millimeters and a bunch of. So I was trying to use everything to the best I could, but Eric picked up a small increase in the EMF in the one hallway. Other than that, there was this moment where we thought we heard a group of people walking around inside, even though we were the only peoples in. We had full access to ourselves. So we got kind of freaked out, and for about an hour we searched through the whole place trying to find if there was anyone else in there, and there wasn't that we could find. So, and before we I set up an EM pump, but there's no power inside the place other than
Well, the reason I wonder is because you say it was with a dam, and one of the theories I've always wondered about, because I've had some experiences that definitely relate to this, is bodies of water or flowing water that gives off electromagnetic energy. Water can do that, and I've always wondered if spirits can feed off that to manifest more.
I think they can after being at this place, and because the Tennessee River's it's a pretty big river, and it's flowing the part of the dam that we're in is out over the water, and it used to be the powerhouse. There was these giant generators and things in there, and a bunch of different battery rooms and everything.
Did you get
So
some,
just
was EVPs caught at all there? Or were you,
yeah, we definitely caught some EVPs. Eric on his channel did a review of. He had the recorder the whole time, and he was doing EVP. We were doing EVP sessions. Every room we'd go in, we'd do a session, and we caught at one point we caught this. This was really weird to me. It sounded like metal banging, like you could hear it clearly. And when you go back in the full video I put out, I included this. When you go back and listen to us asking the question, you can't hear the metal banging. I have it on video of us asking the question and then the metal banging too. And I think we were asking about if the spirits needed any food. We were also in a room that the owners didn't like going into. They said there's a really nasty spirit up there. And so then you hear this. We also got. I'm not gonna say the word. It's a bad word, but
not on the radio.
yeah, it says the word. A voice says the word over. Eric's talking in the background, and I'm not talking, but you can tell it's not my voice. And it was really weird. Like we were getting voices, cameras. Like a voice would come through and say something, but it wouldn't be either of us. And then lots of banging, and we were getting some loud banging. And we were in the Hell's Bar Dam on Ghost Adventures, and there's this one area where they caught a figure by this little locker overhang, and we were in there, and something was banging so
I was
loud.
wondering if that's why I said it sounded familiar. The name sounded familiar, like I've probably seen it on there.
Yeah, I think it was on Ghost Hunters too. I've heard. I haven't seen their episode. I don't think.
It sounds familiar, like I've seen it. It sounds really familiar.
I definitely recommend it. It was a wild place. I didn't expect it.
Where is it located again?
Oh, it's in Guild, Tennessee, kind of near Chattanooga.
Okay, I love Tennessee, and
yeah, me too.
Take a paranormal vacation.
Yeah,
see a place like that'd be awesome. Now, two, I want to before we still got some time before the second and last commercial break, and then I want to get coming up here soon to showing the video of the Bigfoot I was talking about.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the show, how did you start getting into the cryptoid kind of thing? What drew you to that? Because you got I can see the alien experience, and I could definitely see the ghost paranormal spirit experiences you had drawing you to it. But what drew you to the cryptoid experience?
Well, so like I was saying, as a kid, I was always into the which a lot of people call the dog man now. I was always into the werewolves, the monsters, the woodland spirits and creatures. And as I got older, I was always a believer in Bigfoot, that's just love the Mothman, every cryptid. I just love the stories about them, lake monsters. But the Bigfoot stuff, to me, really hit me hard because I did the whole Appalachian Trail in 2014, and I've always been into hiking and camping. And while I was out there, I didn't really have any experiences except for with bears and deer that I know of. I wasn't really paying attention at the time. I was just, trying to hike the trail. But once I got back from the trail, a couple of years later, I met my friend Jonathan Odom, and he got me really interested in the Bigfoot stuff. As far as investigating it, I wasn't even really aware too much that Alabama had several cryptids, such as like the Alabama White Thing, the Alabama Boogers, the
Boogers. I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, they call them the Boogers. It's basically just a Bigfoot name that that people down here kind of call them.
Boogers. And, that's a new one for me, man. I love it.
Yeah. And the White Thing, you have to spell it Thang, not thing. It's thang. So.
Thang. White Thang. Well, is it a white like a Yeti or?
Oh yeah, it looks kind of like, some people describe it as a white Yeti looking creature. Some people say it has like a lion's head or it's a white bear. And in Huntsville, Alabama, there's rumors that they call it the white thing there too, but it's this creature that lives, that has no eyes, no ears, and it's like this white humanoid figure.
That sounds creepy. That sounds Stranger Things esque. Definitely the
And then
Demogorgon.
down south, you got Huggin Molly. It's like this story about this, like, I guess she was a witch or some female apparition that would go out, and kids who go out at night, she would come up them and essentially hug hug them. And so that would kind of keep the kids in at night, I guess. We have witch legends and things. But when I met Jonathan Odom, we went out to the forest where I caught that video we're going to show in a bit, because there's actually a lot of sightings out in that forest. And what you were saying at the beginning when we were getting into this segment about how it's all connected, I kind of feel this. A lot of people believe that Bigfoot might be, a flesh and blood creature, and I'm still not 100% convinced.
Right.
I think there might be more to it on the spiritual side.
We've talked about that a lot on this show. I tried to have one good solid cryptoid show, and it was a good show. I had Scott Mardis on. I think I saw on your video channel. You've met him, right?
Yeah, me and him talk on Facebook, and we met at Creature Weekend.
He's awesome, and we had Jeff Stewart, who was awesome, especially cryptoid Bigfoot. But he had where he lives, his internet connection was awful. I should have never had him on Hangouts. It didn't work, and I need to try to get both those guys back on again, separately or together or whatever. They both are huge resources of knowledge when it comes to the cryptoid front. Lake Monsters for Scott Mardis. Yeah, awesome. Scott's awesome, and Jeff is awesome. We got to try to get him on with a better connection, even if I have to have him on the phone. But we were going over all the cryptoid stuff and that. That's like the best. But we've talked about it more than several times on this show about, is Bigfoot real, physical, or is he extra dimensional, or is he the ghost of a Gigantopithecus? A large ape. We haven't found a body. That's what it comes down to. The paranormal definitely could explain that.
Yeah. Another thing about the bodies that I've thought about, like I've done a lot in camping, like months of camping in the woods, and I've never just came across like a bear's body in the woods. Rarely I come across deer bodies. So, it's a tough one about the body because, especially if they bury it, and we might never find it, but
you think we would find something? They do find bear carcasses once in a great while. You do, and you do find. You think you would find something, but if they do, if they bury their dead, then okay, maybe.
Yeah, because a lot of people believe that they, travel in these little packs, that they have, sentries out watching, and while the rest of the pack are sleeping, and so. When I go out in Alabama, they actually, some that are actually a little bit smaller than the Sasquatch, California and Washington and everything.
Yeah, the skunk ape kind of deal.
Yeah, little smaller skunk apes, and which I have smelled some interesting scents, which, could be a skunk. There are skunks here.
Yeah.
But I have caught some interesting scents while out, and definitely heard the wood knocks, which personally after a couple of years of doing it, I definitely think that they do that to warn the others that humans are near, that something's going on.
Right.
Because
that's what the theory is.
Yeah, because some people, like, I've tried to do the knocking back or trying to communicate, and usually I won't get anything. But I have, upon coming into the woods, like in some of the places I go, you'll hear the knock as we're walking in. You'll hear, like the other night we were out, and as we were coming in, we heard a knock, and I caught that knock on camera. You can hear it. I haven't put that out yet, but then as we were coming out, we heard another knock, and I didn't have my camera rolling at that point, but we heard the knock, and we were like, this is around the same area when we were coming in.
Right.
Were they warning you, letting them know they're leaving now, or what?
They'd have to be somewhat
Wow.
intelligent to be able to play the greatest hide and seek game of all time. Hide and seek champion. They'd have to be intelligent. There's no question about it. I mean, there's also the UFO thing. We talk about things
Yeah.
mixing. Bigfoot is a big mixture too, because one, there's the side of the people seeing UFOs, near or after Bigfoot sighting.
Yep.
There's cases of that, and then there's also the people that have like the psychic experience with the Bigfoot. Like the telepathy. I know it sounds crazy. Some people are into the Bigfoot thing. I know Bill's probably in the chat room. Bill Padera going, shaking his head, whatever. But people that are into Bigfoot, really into it, they have these experiences. We had Connie Willis on. She's been Sasquatching. She's a guest host on Coast to Coast AM. She talked about having like a psychic experience with a Bigfoot.
I've heard about that, and
Yeah.
one interesting thing that I heard, this one guy told me that he had heard from a Native American that if you kill a Bigfoot, then you will die. Like shortly after, you'll be cursed. And he claims that he actually shot at one when he was a kid, and he said a couple weeks later he almost died of I think it was pneumonia or something. And he said he felt like it was because he shot at that Bigfoot and kind of messed him up
Right.
for a while.
And they, like I said, they could be interdimensional. They could be the pets of gray aliens. They're letting them go out for a potty break or something. I don't know. I mean, there's got to be, for it to be just nothing. It's just all people's imaginations. That to me is the wildest explanation. There's just too many witnesses.
Yeah, and in that area where I go a lot, people actually have the UFO sightings. There was a supposed UFO crash that was kind of put off as a meteor crash.
Really?
That's what I've heard. And
how long ago did that happen?
Supposedly that was, I think it was 3 years ago.
Oh, so not long ago.
Yeah, this wasn't long ago. And they say that, I'm not sure how true this is because I haven't really looked too far into it, but they say that federal firefighters actually came and blocked the area off.
Where was this at?
And this is in the Talladega National Forest.
Okay. I think I heard of that. I heard of this, yes. I think I have heard of this. This is ringing some bells for me.
And after that happened, people were claiming to see some figures and things in the woods. And it was probably a year after it when I was there. And what we were talking about before the show, the blue strobe light looking like fairies or sprites or will-o-wisps. That's what they looked like to me. They were these blue strobe lights. And my dog was barking at them. At first, there was only 2 of them came up to the tent. And my dog started barking. We woke up and looked, and there was 2 of them outside the tent. And one of them came and landed right next to the tent. And I whispered, I was like, there it is. And it heard me, and it flew off really fast and started, it was just almost like the color of my shirt, a little bit darker, maybe blue, strobing. And so it flew off. We kind of fell back to sleep. The dog started barking again, and there was like 6 or 7 of them outside the tent.
I don't think I'd fall back to sleep, man.
Somehow I felt like once again just like kind of calm around them or something. I don't know. They didn't really scare me. The person I was with was kind of freaked out, but I didn't feel scared around them. And I really want to go back. I haven't been back to that spot since. And the time I went to relax. I didn't go to investigate.
So it's like I'm not right now. I'm just relaxing.
I didn't have my camera or anything.
That's how it always happens. You weren't ready.
Yeah. I was just gonna say other people have had experiences. One of my friends commented on the video I put out and said that he had heard something was whooping at them and throwing sticks at them.
Ooh.
And him and his girlfriend kind of got out of there because they were kind of freaked out.
You've heard those stories of them, people having rocks thrown at them and sticks and stuff like that. It's like, now what did you do to piss off the Bigfoot?
One night it was probably about 4 a.m. and I want to say it was in February or March, and I was camping out, so it was kind of a chilly night. It had just started to rain, and all of a sudden I wake up to this sound of just straight up branches being just like just branches being snapped. and I caught all this on video. It's in one of my earlier Bigfoot videos from last year, and you can hear the branches being snapped. Right when I turned the camera off because it had kind of stopped, then I hear the whole tree get pushed over. I was like, "Whoa! Why wasn't I filming still?"
Are you in a tent when this is happening?
Yeah, I was in my tent.
I wouldn't be comfortable with that either. You can push a tree right over on your tent. You think it was trying to like?
Catch it on,
do you think it was aware of you and like trying to like do this to intimidate you? Did you get that feeling?
That's what I think.
See, I would not be comfortable with that.
I was saying calm
generally don't hurt you, but a Bigfoot, I mean, a Bigfoot, if it's real, could probably rip your arm off.
Oh yeah, he can tear you in half. There's been stories about him smashing people's trucks and things like that. But I felt fine. I wasn't scared. I tried to stay calm and just listen. And after the tree fell, it didn't make any more sounds. No more tree branches snapping. And that's why I thought it wasn't just a tree falling, because I heard the branches snapping first. And I don't know, maybe bears would snap branches. I've never seen a bear do that, but
well, I'd be scared of that too.
Oh yeah, bears are. I've had them come around my tent grunting, and you can feel the vibration on the ground.
You can tell I'm not a woodland guy. I used to go camping a lot. I mean, I used to when I was in my 20s. I used to go camping a lot, and I enjoyed it. But I think the last time I went camping, I saw a rattlesnake and about had a heart attack. Snakes are my phobia, and I haven't been back. Haven't been camping.
I've seen the rattlesnakes and copperheads and bears, coyotes, and everything. But so my friend the next day, he's a tracker, and he's actually the one who pointed out the one in the video. Like, I didn't know it was there until he pointed it out in my other video. It was like a longer, like 26-minute video, and he somehow saw it at the 17-minute mark or something.
Good catch. It's a good catch.
I was like, dude. Yeah, he's a tracker, and I would go out with him. And the next day, I met up with him after that camping experience, and he was like, I think he was trying to intimidate you. And I was like, yeah, he didn't intimidate me. He just left me alone after that. I'm sure he could feel that I wasn't afraid, and so that was pretty interesting. I've had some cool experiences out there.
Jeff, hopefully Jeff is around, I would like to check it if he is. Let's go ahead. Now, this video, when and where was this taken?
Okay, this was in the Talladega National Forest, that same forest where there's all these different UFOs. There's old cemeteries. There's the ferries. People see these. Someone said they saw some white, like cloaked people in the woods. There's dogmen sightings. So I was in that woods.
Curious. That's another subject to go down a rabbit hole, but yeah.
Yeah, we could go on. But so I was out there by myself. I had hiked up, bushwhacked off. I didn't go on any trail or anything. I bushwhacked through this field into the woods from the Pine Glen campground, which is where there's been several sightings, several in the past couple weeks too that we've heard. And I bushwhacked off. And at that point where this video takes place, I was on the other side of the creek in the woods somewhere. There are some old hunting trails back there and game trails and things. But as far as I know, people don't go back there often at all. Yeah, you can see in this map right here, Pine Glen Campground, it's in the middle of the Talladega National Forest. So...
All right, well, let's go ahead. Let's let Jeff play it, and let's check it out. Go ahead and play the video of sound and everything. We'll watch the whole thing, because to me, it's pretty interesting.
Hey, guys. So this is freaking crazy, okay? My friend Ken Patterson, someone who I've gone squatching with a lot, pointed this out in my last video at the 17-minute and 50-second mark. And I don't know how the hell he saw it, but once I saw it, it's freaking crazy. This is something walking through. You can see it walk across, and I didn't notice it when I was there. And it's walking on, it looks like it's walking on two legs. And I don't know what the hell it could be, because, in Alabama, we don't have bears. except for in maybe the northeastern parts. But this is pretty crazy. Check it out. Okay, here is the regular clip, and then next I'm going to play the slowed down version so you can really get a look at it. So that is pretty crazy, guys, and that's Brittany. But let me know what you think about this, because this is freaking blowing our minds. Brittany's a total Bigfoot skeptic.
I don't believe in Bigfoot, but this thing is crazy. Like, I can tell you, we don't have bears here. There are no bears here.
And bears, I would have heard a bear. I've seen over 50 bears in the wild.
This thing's walking on its...
I know what bears, they're pretty loud.
It's walking on its legs.
Like, you'll know when a bear runs away from you. And this thing is like walking, and I don't know.
It's walking on its legs, and it's covered in hair from head to toe. Like, I don't believe in Bigfoot, and I'm freaking out right now because I don't know what else to say about this. This thing is walking on two legs very clearly, and it's covered in hair from head to toe. I
just want to say huge thanks to Ken for pointing that out. I would have never seen that. And it makes me wonder, because I cut out a lot of footage too, because there was just tons of footage of me just walking around and stuff. And it makes you wonder, like, what all kinds of stuff you miss in the background. And I wanted to say too that people are always asking, you know, like, why don't we have awesome videos of Bigfoot or pictures? I mean, this is why, like, even when I was filming, it's still off in the distance. It knew I was there. It's blurry.
It wasn't looking at you or anything. It was
just like
evading.
And like, I don't know, it's just not that easy. Like, we aren't out in the wilderness all the time. Like, as people, we all live in cities now. We live in houses, and it's not that easy to capture evidence of these things. So let me know what you think about this, and thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks, Ken.
Thanks, Ken. You rock, man.
Now, us replaying it, it definitely gets blurry, so I definitely encourage you people to check that out. Spectral Wolfpack Squad on YouTube to see this video, because it definitely want to see. I mean, it doesn't do enough justice, but it's something worth walking upright, in my opinion. And we can talk about, when we get back from the commercial break, some of the explanations, some of the people thrown out. Like, there are bears, you found out, right, Alex, in that area.
Yeah. Yeah, there are bears in that area. I've seen them in the northern parts of Alabama, but toward Georgia. I just had never seen them in this forest, but that doesn't mean they're not there. I mean,
right.
You know, they're walking on two legs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It looks like it's walking. It looks like, because I'm like, oh, it's been debunked. So I went and read, you know, what you had up, and, you know, saw your other video. And I'm like, I don't, you know, it still doesn't feel like it's been debunked, in my opinion. These are possibilities, but not a debunk, not a completely. This still could be a Bigfoot. And it would have been stalking you, Alex.
Yeah.
You know, that's creeps me. That would creep me out a little bit. I guess I'm a little creeped out by Bigfoot. I'm not a squatcher. I've never had an experience, and I've never gone out squatching. And
if you watch, I have the 3 parts videos that this came from, the 3 parts. I camped out, and then the next day did a hiked across the creek and went up the ridge, and was hearing something moving around, which could have been another animal. I was hearing the knocking, and when I woke up that morning, there was like this. This could have been a bird, but it was just like tapping on wood. I couldn't see what was causing it, but I could hear it. And then actually I did that morning when I got out of the tent. I had a weird dream that night about these like dogmen alien things that was like super vivid. But I got out of the tent all disoriented, and I looked up on the ridge across, and I actually saw something big move across. I wasn't filming though, but I saw something, and
Yeah.
was pretty cool.
You're probably getting stalked by Bigfoot when you go out there.
Yeah, especially going alone, you know.
What were you going to say, Rob?
You're in their yard, you know. They got the advantage.
Oh yeah, and if they do have sentries out, and Bigfoot's up on the ridge and down on the ground watching and everything, and they also are super stealthy. I know that when we go into the woods, they know we're there right when we get in there. Probably we smell like the city. We smell like everyday scents. We have our clothes on, our plastic phones and
We
plastic
probably
everything.
stink to them.
Yeah, we probably smell like what they probably relate us to death, and that's one reason. This one Native American guy told me, he doesn't go with guns or camo anymore, because they relate that to hunters. And I've never worn camo or brought a gun when I go out, but a lot of people frown upon that.
Right, I can see why. I mean, if they have those instincts and know it and are smart enough, intelligent enough, they're like, we're staying away from him. He's got guns. I would. If I could tell you had a gun, I would definitely stay away. Well, let's go ahead and get to our second and last commercial break, and then we will be back, and we will take phone calls on the show. I'll have the numbers out where you can call in. You can call in by Skype or by phone. I'll give all that out when we get back from the commercial break. All right, guys, be with you in just a few minutes. All right, tonight on Paranormal Soup, our guest is Alex Bob. We're talking about all things soupy tonight because we're getting into the ghosts, the cryptoids, UFOs, fairies, we all kinds of stories. Alex is a great guest for this. That's what I love about this show. We cover all topics, and I love it when we get to do it all in one night. It's just a fun night. I mean, yeah, we have guests that are on specific things, and I love getting that expertise, but when you have a guest on that you can kind of delve into all your favorite subjects, it's a lot of fun. All right, speaking of that, let's get back to our guest. Oh, wait, one thing. See, I'm out of practice. You can call in the show. The phone lines are now going to be open. There is the Skype line, 2 of them. There's Soup Live Chat, 800 Live Chat. That's a video Skype chat. We can actually see you. Alex can see you. Or you can call in. Audio only is the OOJBland OO Skype ID. That's OOJBLANDOO. That's the Skype ID for the audio only. Then there's a phone number, 219-230-4444. That's 219-230-4444. All right, now let's get back to our guest. All right, still there with us, Alex?
Yep, still here.
So, like I said, guys, call in the show if you got a question for Alex tonight. You want to comment on the video if you think it's a Bigfoot. My personal opinion, I mean, I can't say it's 100%. I'm not an expert that it's a Bigfoot, but I feel like it is. It looks like it's walking upright.
Yeah, I mean, for me, how I feel about it now, I'm 50-50 on it after seeing, Bigfoot Tony did a breakdown of it, showing that it, could possibly be a leaf caused by parallax.
The leaf explanation doesn't explain it to me because I feel like if you were to get some more zoom in on it, I feel like there's branches and stuff in front of it. Like, there's things in front of it.
Saying. You can see the things in front of it. And it also, I mean, there's parts where my camera's going one way and it's going the other way, or when my camera's not moving and it's still moving.
Mm-hmm.
So all that I can do and all I'm going to do is keep trying to get better footage. I'm trying to get better cameras, of course, all the time, better equipment. And, I'm just going to keep going out there and keep trying to get better footage is all, and more evidence.
And maybe the Bigfoots go, they get used to your scent and they'll get closer to you. Maybe that's what that Bigfoot was doing. You should go back to that area and see if he comes back.
And that's where we were the other night when we heard, because I went back with Jonathan and Bill, and that's where we actually heard the knocks when we were coming in and out.
Oh, yeah.
And, so I definitely want to go back there, go back alone. I like to go alone. I'm going to do that ASAP. So
I say this about ghost experiences. A lot of people have those alone.
Yeah.
And I will say, I will put people in a situation where they're monitored by cameras and audio, but I will put them in a lone room. Well, same thing I would go for Bigfoot. They're an intelligent being. They're not going to be around a group of people. When you see these shows that go Bigfoot hunting, there's cameramen and lights and people, and they're making all kinds of noise. I'm like, that's why you're never gonna see a Bigfoot on one of these TV shows. There's just, one that, the Lone Survivor, was it Lone Survivor? I think it was.
Survivor Man?
Yeah, Survivor Man. He's a Bigfoot guy now. Because of doing that show and being out there by himself, he had a couple experiences. And that's the thing. I think you do have a lot greater chance of seeing a Bigfoot if you're by yourself, for sure. But it's scary. I don't know. Yeah. I'm not that committed to Sasquatching, man. I'm interested, but I would not. I want to see it with a group of people. Like, oh, look at the Sasquatch. I feel a little safer. He's going to catch you before he catches me, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty committed to getting out there in the field and doing it alone. And there's other people like in Alabama too who do that. Like Jonathan does that a lot. He'll go out alone.
Just don't be the missing 411, don't end up in that,
There's a lot of that, those stories that, in those Bigfoot hotspots and things. It's definitely some weird stuff. And then, you could get into the Dogman stuff too with the murder talked about in the Land of the Lakes case.
Yeah, the Dogman would be scary. It's scary. I mean, to me, that's, you were saying when you were a kid, you were interested in werewolves. I mean, the Dogman is to me, the werewolf. I would not want to be out in the. Bigfoot. Okay, I've seen Harry and the Hendersons. Maybe I can relate and not be so scared. But the Dogman, I've seen the Halloween. That's what I picture. I picture the Dogman. And
I just want to see them have a battle in the woods, an epic battle, Dogman and Bigfoot.
Oh my God, that would be the most. And if you get it on video, that's going to be the most viral video. Shoot, we had a caller. We had our regular caller Zach call. I'm trying to call him back. I missed it. I'm off my game tonight. 3 weeks gone. I'm didn't even see it ringing. We do have our caller though. Are you there with us, Zach?
I am, Jason. How you doing, brother?
How you doing, man? I got to ask you something. You really like that candy? He sent me this cactus candy.
I do. I love it.
Wow, man, you got a sweet tooth.
I usually eat another brand of it actually out here.
That was sweet. My wife and me both tried it. We're like, whoa, that is really sweet, and cactusy, cactusy sweet.
Try the ice cream. It's less sweet, but it's still just as good.
Well, thank you for it anyways. It was, I was like, what did Zach send me? It's cactus candy. Holiday greetings. All right, Zach, you always got the great questions. What's your question tonight?
Hey, Alex, it's very nice to meet you, man. My first question to you is, based on your research into Bigfoot, do you believe that the Patterson Gremlin film is like a pure, genuine footage of Bigfoot? Why or why not?
Well, what they say about it is that at that certain time, it was 50 years ago, they didn't have the, technology to make costumes that in depth and everything, because the just the movement of it, the breasts and everything.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was gonna be more vulgar about it. I said the boobs, man, they go up and down. It's like so lifelike. It is.
I think it's hard to say because they made this little film, and I'm wondering how long they were out there and how they, if they did hoax it, they probably planned uh, plan it all out and everything, and how much film did they have with them and everything. I haven't looked too much into all that, but I mean, it's pretty legit to me. I mean, and they did that in one of the shows. They like stabilized it a lot, and you could really see the movement. I think that they said the thing is about 7 or 8 feet tall, which back then I feel like it would be pretty hard to replicate that.
To me, it's still one of the best pieces of evidence. I really think it's held the test of time. And there was a lot of suspect because they were I'm not an expert on this case, but from what I understand, they were out to make a Bigfoot movie before they got that footage. They were actually scoping locations for it, and that's why they said, "Oh, we got our suit." But when they've done the analysis of it, I mean, you really can see that, like I said, the breasts, the boobs are going up and down, and I mean, it's got so many, lifelike features to it, and how big it is.
Yeah, the shoulder muscles and everything, and just the way the muscles move as it moves, and when it turns around and looks at you.
Out in the middle of nowhere when they did this too,
And they're up there in an area where people do have the encounters with Sasquatch. So it's definitely an interesting little clip. I'm still not sure, because they say, they're out there on horseback riding and everything, and it's, once again, I mean, all these Bigfoot clips are always real shaky, and it's kind of hard to tell.
There's a reason, because you're like, oh my god, it's a Bigfoot.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you got to think about it. If you see something like that, you're gonna be
shaken. I'd be shaken. And it's the same with UFOs too, man. The UFOs are always the blurry, grainy footage, not shaken so much as the crappiest camera or whatever.
And same with videos of just anything. Like if something crazy happens, and I might pull out my camera and start if something like police start running towards something, or I might pull out my camera and start filming. But I'm gonna be, all in adrenaline, so it might not be perfect. But yeah, for after 50 years, I mean, it's still definitely, I think it's one of the best we've got. Have you guys seen that one? I think it was from either Louisiana or North Carolina, where it's like a Bigfoot sitting there, and the hunters kind of snuck up on it, and it's like breaking branches and things, and people say they can see a young one.
Yeah, we had it on the World Wide Web of Weird.
Yeah.
But if I remember right about that one, that there was some doubt put on that video as a hoax. I
could see that, because how would he have snuck up on it and it not?
They seem to be a little bit better, than that. People be sneaking up on them all the time. Yeah, if I remember right, I'm not 100% on this. Maybe somebody in the chat room knows. I remember the video exactly which one you're talking about, but. Yeah. If I remember right, I think I had a follow-up on that, or during the World Wide Web Weird, that there was some doubt or shade thrown on that these guys were faking it, or somebody came out and said they were, or something like that. I don't remember exactly. So, but we had that one on the World Wide Web Weird. Zach, did you have any other questions though?
Yeah, I just got one more. Alex, since you've had a prevalent of Bigfoot encounters before, in your personal opinion, would you say that you have some kind of a mental or psychic connection really with Bigfoot that allows you really to have so many encounters like this? Why or why not?
I can't say for sure that I do. I haven't had any, like I said, I've had the strange dreams when I'm out there. I've had the the one time I was out there, I felt super kind of disoriented and lightheaded, and just kind of weird. But when I go in the woods, I kind of almost get in this trance state at this point, especially after hiking that Appalachian Trail. So I'd say I'm not for sure on that, but I would like to experiment more. And what I want to do in the future is bring a bongo drum or something and maybe play some music out there and see if that has any increase of activity or anything. Because I've heard that they kind of like to come in and, if you're making music or have a fire, they might like to come closer and watch you and
give them something to watch. They don't just watch you kick your butt out in the woods, And
if you're sitting there trying to be all sneaky and they're already watching you, they're not gonna come close. They're gonna know you're up to something.
Plus,
So,
you would think that their scent alone, like they should be able to smell you from miles away.
oh yeah, I think they can because, like I said, we come in smelling like all kinds of stuff from our world. But yeah, as far as the psychic connection and things, I can't say for sure about that.
But you might more as you go more and more. You get out there.
Yeah,
You say you feel like you get in a daze when you go out there. So, well,
yeah.
thank
When
you,
I get
Zach,
out
for
there,
calling in.
All right, Jason, thank you
that's,
so much for allowing me to call back in. So great to have you guys back on. Take it easy, Jamie, Rob. Happy belated birthday, and I'll
Oh
talk to y'all
yeah,
later, all right?
belated happy birthday to you, Rob. Too. I forgot about that.
Thanks, man.
But yeah, you know, and don't forget, guys, that you can call in. It's 219-230-4444 is the phone line, or Skype ID, Soup Live Chat, 800 Live Chat, or OOJBland are the call-in lines. You can ask Alex a question or comment on what you think of the Bigfoot video. Now, you know, you're talking about playing music and trying to draw them in. I mean, would you do that by yourself? You're gonna be out there on a Congo, out in the woods by yourself, just.
oh yeah.
Oh man, I can't wait to see the video
I'll,
footage of that. Even if you don't
yeah.
get anything.
Another thing I want to experiment with is a lot of people say doing like a kind of a selfie type filming or selfie pictures, like be facing away from them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get a photo bomb because they might come closer if you're turned your back to them. And then I experimented. There was this article that came out. It was about this Bigfoot spray that this lady made, and she claimed that her husband had an encounter after
Yeah,
trying.
we had that on the World Wide Web weird too.
So I actually got that spray from her.
You
and,
did?
Yeah, and I've experimented with it. I haven't really had any
Does
huge
it have a smell to it? We were curious when we had this on the World Wide Web weird. There's no like description of what it actually smells like, and we were curious.
It smells. I mean, it's not really a piney scent, but it's kind of like that. It's definitely, it's a natural type scent. They say it helps not have bugs come around as much. But what I've been doing is I set out game cameras a lot, and I sprayed my one game camera with it, and I had several coyotes come up. I had these deers come up and just stand in front of the camera. It was kind of weird. Like they were just.
That's what usually people get with the game cameras. We do have another phone call. We have Nicole on the line. How you doing tonight, Nicole?
I'm good. How about you?
Doing good. You have a question for our guest tonight?
I was just going to ask him if you ever had any luck taking any still photographs of Bigfoot. Sorry.
Of the Bigfoot.
Yeah.
There was one in one of my videos we put where I was out with Ken Patterson, and there's this place called Sweetwater Lake where people have a lot of experiences, and same with like the UFO sightings. And we had gone way back in the woods off trail, and we had started hearing these owl calls like in the middle of the day, and it was kind of weird. We heard these tapping, but on the way out we got one picture that could be just a stump, but it definitely looks pretty interesting to me. And I included that in the video, and you can kind of see something that looks like a figure standing there. Other than that, I'm not sure. Oh, sorry.
I was saying, oh wow.
Oh, and I was going to say, people have pointed out things in my videos, like they see faces and things like that. I do need to go out. If I do go out with my camera, I'll definitely start taking more just still shots. But mostly I just go in video, and people will see things. One guy pulled out a bunch of clips. He said he saw faces, and he said he told me that they were getting really close to me and they felt safe around me. So,
like, okay.
That's cool.
I was like, that's cool. Yeah. But
yeah, I liked the video.
oh, thank you.
I saw it right away too.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty pronounced.
And there's that one moment where it actually looks like it has the face and shoulder, and like.
I mean, it moves super quick, but I mean, you catch it. You
Yeah.
definitely catch it.
Yeah. So that's why, like I said, all I can do is continue trying to catch clearer, better, and that's what I'm going to keep doing. So.
Good luck.
Did you have any other questions, Nicole?
I don't know, it's good. Thank you for taking my call.
Oh, well, thank you for calling
Nice
in.
to
So,
meet you guys.
so let's say,
Thank you,
Nicole,
guys.
Yeah, thank
Nicole,
you.
in your opinion, though, I asked you, Nicole, you called in about that
Huh?
video. Do you think that's a Bigfoot? Is that your feeling too? It looks like one.
It might be, yeah. I feel it might be.
I think it is. I really do. I think the debunkers are picking at it, but I think there's a lot. I think that's a pretty good piece of footage. Thank you, Nicole, for calling in.
Yeah, very good.
Thanks, Nicole.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Yeah, that's a pretty good piece of footage too. I think. I mean, I don't think it's a leaf or something. Just
No, I definitely don't think the leaf explanation. Maybe a bear. Maybe a bear. Don't forget,
I
guys.
definitely. Oh, sorry.
I'll say really quick, don't forget, guys, if you want to call in one more time, I'll say this, throw this out there. It is 219-230-4444 or Soup Live Chat, 800 Live Chat, or that's the Skype ID, or the other Skype ID is OOJBland00. Those are the Skype IDs, or you can call in by phone. All right, go ahead. Sorry, Alex.
Oh, it's cool. I just wanted to say I encourage everyone, to go watch some of my other, longer Bigfoot videos just on some of the stuff that happens while we're out there. Because, there's that video clip, but during that whole little series I did, there was other things around me. Like it wasn't just that clip that I caught while I was out there.
Well, you said you had a guy saying he was seeing faces in there. Now, how much do you think that's pareidolia? People just seeing faces and,
It definitely looked like that. Like I didn't really see too much of what he was saying. I've also had this one guy send me his videos, and he'll draw like an outline around something he sees on a tree branch or a tree log, like a log, and he'll say, that's a dogman or a Bigfoot, and all I'm seeing is a log, and I'm like, I don't want to be mean or anything, but I'm like, he says it's 100% proof, and I'm like, it's just not. We need if 100% proof, like we were saying, as a body or something like that. This is just kind of soft.
Or just coming right up to you and making you pee yourself, I mean, that's what I'd do if a dogman came up. I mean, there's this fake video. There's a classic fake video of a dogman that's like running up. When I first saw that video before I knew it was fake, it gave me the chills because I was like, man, if I saw that out in the woods coming at me, I would pee myself. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, some of the hoax videos and things like that, like it reminds me of back in like 2009 when I was into the Slender Man stuff. And there's the Marble Hornets series, which was actually filmed in Alabama, right near where I live. And I remember I was watching that, and at the time I was staying in my tent, just in the backyard, because I just got off the trail the first time, and I was just still used to sleeping in my tent. So I was out there at night freaking out about Slender Man.
Oh my
Even
God.
though that whole series was, just a found footage hoax type.
They're coming out with a movie of that this year. I think they're going to do it, and a lot of people are kind of like, that's in poor taste after what those two girls did.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was pretty messed up what happened with those girls. The movie, to me, the trailer didn't excite me too much because I'm used to the found footage type, super creepy Slender Man.
Bell Witch.
Or Blair Witch.
Not Bell Witch, Blair Witch, sorry.
But I have been to the Bell Witch cave.
That's an interesting story. More interesting than the Blair Witch.
Yeah. Recent video about the Hines Road Witch in Gadsden, Alabama, but it actually has some similarities to like the Blair Witch. Like in the movie, they have that house that appears and disappears.
Right.
There's actually a lot of that going on with this Hines Road Witch, which I'm going to start doing more investigating out there.
I've always been fascinated with. I'm fascinated with a lot of things. People just get over it. But I have always been fascinated with houses that appear and disappear because Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, I've been to several times. There's always been a urban legend or rumor or people have had instances of seeing a house appear there and then disappear in those woods that lead you out to the cemetery. And I don't know, something that was always fascinating me about a house that appears and disappears, a whole structure. I mean, it's one thing for a ghost or person to show up, but for a whole structure to show up is like, that's like time. We're getting into time slips maybe a little bit. And I love that stuff.
Sorry.
So we got another phone call. Let's take it really quick here.
Yeah.
Debbie from Grim's Journal.
Hey, Debbie, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I missed the last part. From what paranormal?
Grins Paranormal. This is Debbie Schmoley.
Oh, hi, Debbie. How you doing?
Hey, Jason. I'm doing good. Hey, Alex.
Hey, Debbie. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, buddy. Hey, I was wondering, what do you got coming up next for, like, ghost hunting?
So for ghost hunting, I've got a super secret special investigation on the.
That he can't tell you about.
I'll give you some clues. Yeah, I might tell you in a secret message later, but I'll tell you some clues. First off, it's going to be on the super blue moon, and the following day we have another one. One of them is going to be at a battlefield, which to us is going to be cool because we, some people speculate that during the full moon, apparitions can become more clear to see. So we're hoping that out in that battlefield that we have some interesting encounters. The next one is going to be a hospital that's going to be really awesome. Other than that, I just have, the stuff I'm usually up to, urban exploring and finding things like that. I've got one thing that's not really ghost related, but it's something I'm excited about, is about that Alabama white thing. I'm actually working on a little video about that. I'm going to do some interviews with people who have had sightings and have a little documentary type thing. And then, like I was saying, the Hines Road Witch, with the house appearing, the black dog they talk about.
Well, that's another interesting subject.
Black
dogs,
I mean, that whole road, I mean, the spirits and everything, and the black dog, there's coyotes in the cave, they say. So I got that coming. And then I've got some videos I've been working on from the past, like from Post Town, the school. I have some footage from there where we got some really crazy obelisk stuff going on. And
Post Town's really active.
Yeah, Post Town was awesome. And my friend Eric goes there a lot. And that was where I first met Eric in person, and we were already friends on Facebook. But yeah, I've got that coming, just stuff like that I'm working on. But toward the end of the month, we've got the next big one. It's going to be
that's super top secret.
Super top secret.
Well, cool, buddy. I'm looking forward to seeing it, and I really enjoyed your Harold Spar Dam video, I wish I could got the live stream for that.
Yeah, I definitely worked hard on that video, and we worked hard to get that live stream. We were the first people to live stream in the dam, and we had Eric set up his antenna outside. I was
going to say, how did you pull that off? It doesn't sound like it'd be
a
good place to try to get a Wi-Fi signal, or a
Eric
data
had
signal.
he set up this antenna and had this like 200-foot cable going into the dam, so we could only get it in so far. But we were the first people to do that, so that was cool. And first investigation of this year. So it was just a good way to start the year off.
Oh, cool. Well, there's still an old fort around the corner here that's waiting for you to come investigate it.
Oh, yeah. I need to, I've got, to get down there to Florida again and hang out with everybody down there.
St. Augustine, man. Rob's down there. You can go to St. Augustine.
Right.
There's a lot haunted there.
Got Rob and me, like right in here, in lots of areas to investigate down here. And you got a place to stay if you come down.
Thank you. I'll definitely be down there.
Well, thanks for everything tonight, guys, and have a good night.
You too. Thanks for calling today.
Thanks, Debbie.
Now, you talk about doing the white thing. Now, if you're going to do a documentary, you're going to focus, because you said there's two different ones. There's the hairy white kind of thing, whatever, and then there's the more like Demogorgon, Stranger Things looking white thing with no eyes.
The Huntsville one. I'm going to focus mainly on the Bigfoot, hair, or lion creature, whatever you want to say. I'm going to focus more on that one. I might mention the Huntsville one.
I don't know. I'm kind of interested in the Huntsville one, man.
What I really want to do is go into that drainage ditch area and really explore that. So it might end up being 2 parts, or maybe just a really long video again. I don't really mind putting out.
They never find Alex again, and it's just a camera in the woods. He's like,
find it in the drainage ditch.
I'm so scared. Yeah, I'm so scared right now. Well, you got to worry about that, Alex. You're going out in the woods a lot by yourself. It's got to be in the back of your mind.
There's been times where I'll get, or I'll feel like I'm getting lost, or I might get mixed up because especially if you go out at night, everything looks different. Even if you know the place, so you could still get mixed up at night.
Oh yeah, there's people that have gone missing that are survivalists that have gone missing.
Yeah.
They know the territory, they know where they're at, and they still go missing.
Yep.
So it's got to be in the back of your mind. That's my fear and loathing paranoia. Whenever I was out in the woods, when I was in my 20s camping, I enjoyed it, and I was less fearful back then, but it was still in the back of my mind.
Oh yeah, the longest I've been lost was for I think I was lost for a whole day one time, but then we ended up finding this horse trail, and it was me and my friend, and we were lost for the whole day. We kind of just stopped. And we're like, let's just stay here for the night, figure it out in the morning. And then we somehow found this horse trail, which led to this ravine area, and there was actually people there, and they got us back to where we were trying to go. So that was pretty cool. But it's definitely, when you get lost, it's disheartening, and you get, you have your adrenaline pumping. So it's always in the back of my mind. I try to stay keen on what's around me and what.
I like to leave little markers around too. I'll put little things around as kind of landmarks and stuff, because you get disoriented so quick.
Oh yeah, it's good to do that. It's good to whatever you can to just not get lost.
Yeah.
Bring a bag full of Skittles or Reese's Pieces to leave a trail.
Yeah, leave a little trail.
It's not just lost. What's going to take you?
Dude, if you leave food for a trail
I
for your
know,
way
I'm joking.
back, okay.
It's screwed. Did I say I was a survivalist? No.
Coyote's going to be following you back.
That's
It'll be the Bigfoot taking the Reese's Pieces. Ooh.
That's another thing I wanted to mention. It's the. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're fine.
Oh, I was just gonna say the gifting aspect of squatching
yeah.
and Bigfoot. I've tried some of that, and it's weird. I'll put trail cams out, and I'll leave some apples or something like that out, and nothing will touch it when the cam's out. Not even squirrels or deer or anything. And then when you take the cam away, it'll just be gone. So it's weird that not even.
You hear that a lot. That happens. They leave us out and get nothing.
I have heard that a lot too. That they won't until there's absolutely nothing around, and then it disappears.
Yep. And it'll be like that. I'll even I had this one where a squirrel literally ran across it on the camera, but didn't touch it. And then I took the camera away, and 2 days later it was just gone. So I don't know what's up with that.
One of these days is, one of these days somebody's got to pick one of these things up on a trail cam. I mean, they had the one where it was burying the camera.
Yeah.
I remember that. We had that in the World Wide Web of Weird. But, eventually the technology, more drone technology.
Yeah, drones.
That's really going to, they had the fake video. I think we had that one where it was a drone. But eventually a drone's really going to capture something, I would think, if it's out there. And that, to me, is one of the best possibilities.
Did you see that? I think there was that helicopter footage from that area where the volcano was erupting. I'm trying to remember where. But there was footage of two possible Bigfoots. Maybe. I can't remember the location.
Bigfoots, though?
Yeah, I think it was two Bigfoots.
I don't know. I'll have to look that up. Usually not much gets past me on those things. But no, that one doesn't sound familiar. I'm going to have to look that up. Or if you find the link, send it to me.
For sure. It was either a video or maybe it was just a story someone was telling. Now I can't remember. But that was kind of cool because it was the volcano was erupting and they were kind of trying to get down the mountain, I guess. And I think they saw it from the helicopter. But yeah, the Bigfoot stuff's really fun. It's it can definitely take over your whole life. You can, just like with the spirits and everything, you can just become obsessed with.
Well, you have a lot on your plate to get obsessed with because you have the interests of the ghosts and the UFOs and the Bigfoots.
Yeah, I mean, I stay busy. When I'm not at work, I'm doing this and working on videos. And I like to, spread it out. I like to do one here and one, maybe 1 week work on this and the next week change it up a little bit, and not to just stay on one. To switch it up sometimes. So
You should bring a spirit box out there with you. See,
yeah, actually,
you know,
we've had some interesting things happen with that. Like, you'll hear screams and things and off in the distance while you're doing a spirit box session. So
that's
definitely something I want to continue experimenting with. And also, there's the rumors about the tree structures having putting off an EMF. So I want to
like the structures that the Bigfoot put together. You know, when they make like that, they give off EMF.
That's a theory that people have said. I haven't tested that. I need to actually start I'll just bring my millimeter out there and just kind of test that and see if there's any truth to that.
Well, there's reports of the Bigfoots disappearing or going through like a dimensional doorway and stuff. You guys think that would leave some kind of EMF signature if there was a paranormal aspect to it? You know.
Yeah, and some of the tree bends and things you'll find look like they could be a doorway or some kind of like passage. So I like to walk through those just for fun. But
the way they bend down like little tents, like little pop-up tents.
Again, Alex, missing 411. He was never seen again.
Some weird stuff.
He ended up in the land of the lost. That's your future, buddy. Is land of the lost.
Walking through some Bigfoot portal.
That's what I picture, man. That's what my fear mind would be thinking out there. Like, I'm gonna end up in land of the lost. It's gonna be awful, or it'd be awesome. I don't know, but it'd probably be awful. One thing I want to say too, have you ever thought, we're getting back to like your UFO experience, like with the big bright light and not remembering. Have you ever thought about doing like regression, like hypnotherapy or anything to find out what happened to you?
I'd really like to do that. I haven't done it yet. I go to this Reiki healer who's also, into the shamanism and stuff. And my girlfriend had a crazy past life experience during a Reiki session. That's never happened to me.
I knew a friend, actually two friends that had that during a Reiki session. That were not real they were actually skeptics and of Reiki and the whole thing, and they were both like converted, like that. Well, this is real. Oh my God, you got to try this. I didn't have
Reiki is legit.
I mean, I had like a feeling, like I definitely felt like something was definitely happening with Reiki. It's not that I didn't have experience. I just didn't have that past life experience,
I've never had that either. I'll get my eyes will start twitching. I'll start seeing things, in my mind, and kind of just play off that and talk to the lady back and forth about what's happening. And then she'll heal me when I'm feeling super drained, because I'll get super drained from doing the ghost stuff.
Yes, I feel you, man. After a night of investigation, it's not like you did a lot of heavy lifting or anything, maybe equipment, but otherwise you feel like you did. You feel like you worked a marathon or something.
It's a para hangover.
Yeah, that's what we call it, a para hangover. Yeah,
it really is. You'll. Even just doing a couple of sessions, sometimes I'll feel like I worked like 12 hours. Just like,
you wonder if that's because they are trying to take your own energy to manifest. That's what I've always wondered. It'll happen nights when nothing happens, and I didn't get any evidence. So it just seems every time I go investigate, me and my wife are both investigators. We come back, we're both like, oh, I can't wait to get in my pajamas and just hit the bed and pass out.
You guys had Jason and Terry on here. When I went up and visited them, and we went on all kinds of adventures. And we went to the Edwin Shaw Hospital.
It's Jason, so the audience knows Jason Emmerich and Terry Brillhart.
Yeah, from Paranormal Den, and I went up and stayed with them for a few days, and it was awesome. And we went on all kinds of adventures, but we went to this one abandoned amusement park, just me and Jason, and for some reason. We got so drained from that place. Like, I remember we got back to his house, and I just sat on his couch for like 12 hours. I was like, dude, I'm so drained. Like, we weren't even there that long. It was just, for some reason, that place was extremely draining.
I want to go abandoned amusement park. Did you get any evidence from there?
Yeah, we got some awesome, spirit box replies. Like, I forget exactly what they said. It was a while ago, but one of them said, I think it was like coaster or roller coaster. They were saying some definite stuff about the rides and things. And there's also a lake there where people have drowned. And it's a super old one, so it's not what I expected. Like maybe like I'd like to explore a newer one too, where there's like tons of rides still, and it's still all like there. This was all old, rusted. Like the Ferris wheel was awesome. Old roller coaster bits and parts.
Yeah, that pretty broke down. Yeah.
Yeah, but we definitely got a lot of spirit box replies. It was snowing that day, so our shoes were all soaked, kind of, and we stayed for a while. But
investigating in the cold though, that will drain you, because I've done abandoned homes and abandoned places. I have no heat in the middle of winter, and I'm just like, oh, that is the worst. It's like, and you're like cold to the bone too after you do it.
Hales Bar Dam. Outside, it was in the teens toward the end of the night, but inside the dam, like the tunnels and everything, it was a little bit warmer. 30 to 40 degrees, so it wasn't too bad.
Now, we have about 7 minutes left. I want to make sure we get out. Where are all the places people can check you out at? We're Spectral Wolfpack Squad, right? Is like the name of your Facebook and YouTube, correct?
Yeah, and I kind of shipped on YouTube now. It's just Spectral Wolfpack Paranormal. I just kind of the squad was just kind of a funny thing I added on, I guess. Right, I just thought it sounded cool. But then I just decided to take that and just so now if you search for Spectral Wolfpack or Spectral Wolfpack Squad or Spectral Wolfpack Paranormal, you should be able to find any of my I've got Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. I pretty much have all the main social media stuff. I try to post a lot on Instagram and YouTube. I post pictures on Instagram of places I go. The YouTube's my main channel and everything. I've almost hit 30,000 subs, and I post pretty much every video on there. Do some on Facebook. But yeah, and you can always message me or comment, and I'll answer back. I try to answer back every comment.
Now, do you do, like, if somebody came to you, like, said, my house is haunted? I know a lot of guys are strictly, like, I don't touch that, Do you do residentials?
I'll do residentials, but personally, I don't like doing sessions during residentials. Sessions, I'll just go do a cleansing first. I mean, if the people really want me to do a session, I might go do a session with them. But if someone calls me and they're like terrified and they're like something's messing with my kids and stuff, I'll just go in and do a cleansing and see if that helps them. If it doesn't help them, I'm not the kind of person. A lot of people might just try to go in and get evidence and leave. Like I've heard about that happening a lot, and then they'll just leave the family in need. If I can't handle it, then I'll definitely try to find someone who can. Like I'll reach out to the Reiki healer or her teacher, or there's other paranormal groups in Alabama that I trust and look up to. And so if I can't help the people, I'll definitely try to find someone who can. But I have done several house cases like that, some of which have been super successful. Like there was this one lady we helped, and we went one time and we cleansed her house like crazy. I mean, we burned this like 7 different sage stick and saying prayers and helping her get kind of back into the prayer thing, because she had Bibles laid out all over the ground, but by the end she was like, I know I need to be reading these things. I am praying out loud. And I'm like, yeah, don't be afraid. You can sage yourself. You can pray. Don't let them, bother you or anything. She was having the sleep paralysis where she would see the old hag.
Oh God.
Things like that. And after we came there, she's called me back a couple times and just said everything's been fine still. So that was cool. And then I've had some that that we couldn't figure out, and we tried to get other people to help. The one family ended up moving because they had all kinds of people come in there, like preachers, the owner of this metaphysical shop in town, the shaman, Reiki healer. We came out, some other paranormal teams, and they just, they ended up moving, I believe. And
sometimes it's just not going to go. I'm saying I just think there's some places you can bring in the best exorcist or shaman you can, and some of them will tell you it ain't going.
Yeah, and a lot of it was these people were also very sensitive themselves, and I think through this situation they realized that, and now they're kind of trying to figure out how to use that to their benefit. And I think the lady was actually telling me she had been talking to the Reiki lady about learning herself, so I thought that was pretty cool. And she had kind of, even though they had to move from their house, they're doing a lot better now. So, like you said, sometimes you might just have to move if you want to get away from it. It might not leave.
Yeah, some places are just I just they're doorways, and they're always going to be.
Me and Jason Emmerich did it was his one of his family members' houses, and we did a cleansing there, and they were having all kinds of activity. I think they were experiencing the sleep paralysis and the apparitions, and the kid would see this girl they said she had no eyes, so that was kind of creepy.
That's creepy.
And the door in their basement had like a cross on the door, like someone had put it there to like keep something down there. It was like one of the basement doors.
That's
so that
never
was
a good
weird.
sign. Like the real estate agents, like, and here's the downstairs. Ignore the cross on the door and the creepy sounds and smell. That's right. Well, thank you so much, Alex, for coming on the show. I'd love to have you back again. Maybe you can join us for an ITC Collective night one night. Join us some spirit boxing.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, we get I always like bringing in people we've had as guests back in for the spirit box shows. We don't have enough of them. The next one of those is not going to be not this month. It won't be till February. And I think we're going to have Jason on, and you're welcome to join us too. It's always a group effort. A group effort if you want to join us. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Because, definitely. Yeah, I love Jason and Terry. They're awesome people. I'd love to get on there with you guys and them.
Do some spirit boxing. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Alex. Again, give one more plug out where people can find your stuff. Say your YouTube channel. Make sure we get it right.
Spectral Wolfpack Paranormal, and just search for that. You can even Google it, I'm pretty sure, and find.
And on Facebook, it's the same too.
Yeah, Spectral Wolfpack Paranormal.
You can find the links too in the description of the show event. Should be in there. I should have the links to at least his YouTube and his Facebook in there. Well, thank you, Alex. Like I said, you're welcome to come on the next ITC Collector show. I'm going to have Jason on. If you guys and I think Terry will be with us. Hopefully, they're still good to do it. And then have you guys all hang out and do some spirit boxing.
Awesome, man. Thanks for having me. It was fun.
All right, guys. Well, we back after 3 weeks. It was a great show. Thank you, Alex. You definitely were a great guest tonight. We get to talk about all the great subjects tonight. Definitely I think we hit upon a lot of them. But we will be back in the next Sunday with True North Paranormal. John Kazuka, I'm totally butchering his name, I'm sure, will be joining us with his team, True North Paranormal. I don't know if it's his team or he's part of the team. I don't have the bio up here, but I know he contacted me about his group coming on. Maybe we'll have some evidence from them. I don't know. I haven't got to talk too much. But that will be the guests next week. And don't forget, check us out on Late Night in the Midlands Radio Network, and go to the website, Late Night in the Midlands Radio Network. If you can donate or subscribe to the network, it helps keep us running on air. Always check us out. If you want to listen to the great music, this music's my music, so I can play this everywhere. But we play copyrighted music on there. We want to keep it going, guys. Late Night in the Midlands Radio Network. Check it out. Please help out. So if you can donate a little bit or subscribe, you'd be helping us out tremendously. All right, guys. See you next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. 10 p.m. to midnight East Central Time, 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern. Have a great night. See you next Sunday.